You know, surviving relegation isn't always about the team. Sometimes it's literally just one player who decides, nope, we're not going down. Like, forget tactics, forget form, it's just pure willpower and a couple of clutch goals that flip the whole season. And these stories, they're some of the wildest in Premier League history. From last-minute winners at Old Trafford to youngsters coming back from loan spells and suddenly turning into prime Ronaldo for 3 weeks, these are the guys who dragged 11 men on their backs and carried them to safety. So yeah, today we're looking at the top 5 players who saved their clubs from relegation. Alright, so this one is mad. Sunderland looked completely gone. Like they were 7 points adrift with 6 games left. Dead. Finished. Championship bound. And then back comes Connor Wickham from a loan at Leeds, and suddenly he's prime Drogba for 2 weeks. He scored 5 goals in just 3 games, including a brace against Manchester City at the Etihad and another 2 against Cardiff. And those points literally flicked Sunderland's season. They went from buried at the bottom to pulling off one of the greatest escapes in Premier League history. And the wildest part? Wickham never really hit those heights again. This was his one golden moment. But if not for that run, Sunderland are relegated. Simple as that. Alright, so this one's a proper underdog story. Wigan were basically written off, like they'd spent most of the season in the bottom 3 and everyone just assumed they were done. But then, out of nowhere, Victor Moses turned into their talisman. In the final stretch, he was unplayable. Tricky on the ball, pacey, confident. He dragged Wigan to massive wins against Liverpool, Arsenal and Manchester United. Moses scored 6 goals that season, but it was the timing of them, the way he turned games on their head, that kept Wigan alive. Without him, Wigan are gone. Simple as that. Instead, they stayed up, Martinez kept his job, and Moses earned a big move to Chelsea that summer. So before the fairy tale title win, Leicester had another miracle, the Great Escape. And at the heart of it, Jamie Vardy. Now, he only scored 5 goals that season, but the timing of them was insane. When Leicester looked finished, 7 points adrift in April, Vardy turned up with match winners against West Brom and Burnley, and of course that famous winner against Manchester United. His energy, his pressing, his absolute refusal to stop running, it set the tone for the whole squad. Leicester won 7 of their last 9 games, climbed out of the bottom 3 and survived. No Vardy, no escape. And without that survival, there's no 2016 title. His story literally doesn't happen. This one's all about carrying a club on your back. Villa had just come up, they'd spent big, but nothing was really clicking. And as the season dragged on, it became clear, if anyone was going to save them, it was Jack Grealish. He wasn't just their captain, he was basically their entire attack. Every time Villa needed something, a goal, a bit of magic, just someone to calm things down, it was Grealish. He ended the season with 8 goals and 6 assists in the Premier League, but again, it was the timing. That huge final day performance against West Ham where Villa grabbed the point they needed, Grealish scored the opener. Without him, they're gone. Simple as that. Instead, Villa survived, built around him for another year and eventually sold him for £100 million. Yeah, this had to be number 1. West Ham looked doomed, like properly gone. Tevez arrived with all this hype, struggled for months, and then, when it mattered most, he exploded. From March onwards, he was unstoppable. He scored 7 goals in his last 10 games, including absolute clutch winners against Bolton, Middlesbrough, and that famous goal at Old Trafford on the final day, beating Manchester United 1-0 to keep West Ham up. The drama was unreal, the legal battles over his transfer, the controversy with Sheffield United going down instead. But strip all that away and it's simple. Tevez saved West Ham. Without him, they're relegated. With him, they pulled off one of the greatest escapes the league has ever seen. And that's the list. 5 players who single-handedly dragged their clubs away from the drop. From clutch goals to pure fight, these guys wrote themselves into survival history. I'm Ranking Reporter and I'll be uploading daily, so if you enjoyed this, make sure to like, subscribe and drop a comment on which player you think pulled off the greatest escape.